Yo, what up, Houston Hacks fans? We're back with week 5, I believe it is. We were able to bounce back last week and get a W, putting us at 1-3, I believe. So this is kind of a must-win for us, as our schedule is absolutely nasty the rest of the way. We have pretty much all the good teams left on our schedule. Let me just duplicate and bring up the draft league one more time here. Hopefully my internet gets going. As that works, I'm going to just talk about our matchup a little bit this week and kind of what I saw going into it. Looking at his team, I usually like to look at their threats first before I look at who my win condition is going to be. But, he's got a lot of heavy hitters. Golurk is pretty dangerous. Pangoro's pretty dangerous. El Creamy, I know, gets some setup moves. Decidueye is one of his only defoggers with Swoobat. Decidueye hits hard. Toxtricity hits hard. Darmanitan hits hard. Jirachi can do pretty much everything. Basically, his whole team hits very, very hard. Now, luckily, you look at his whole team, and then you look at Haxorus, and imagine Haxorus with +1 next to his name. Basically wins me the game. Pretty much wins me the game. Haxorus gets an ability called Unnerve, meaning that weakness berries do not work at all. They can't eat their berries. So it is an automatic W for me when I get DD up. And I shouldn't say automatic. I think running the Calcs, El Creamy needs to take, if it's max defense, it needs to be at like 85% in order to be a guaranteed KO with Poison Jab. But Dragon Claw, Poison Jab, Earthquake pretty much kill everybody. And so the only way that he can defend against that is by running Choice Scarf, Jirachi, Keldeo, or Swoobat. And Swoobat really isn't a great option because I don't think it can OHKO Haxorus with anything. Keldeo can probably come pretty close. But again, it can't run Modest Scarf. It's still got to be faster than me. So he has to get a little bit of chip off on my Haxorus before I DD up. And then Jirachi. So the idea is get webs up, allow Haxorus to set up, and then win the game. And so we set ourselves up by running Galvantula to get webs. Haxorus is going to be our setup sweeper. Xatu is going to be in case he brings Shuckle, so I can shut down everything Shuckle wants to do with Magic Bounce, and then I can set up screens. Quagsire is going to be my answer for Darmanitan. And then Colossal is going to be my pseudo check to Toxtricity, although Specs Toxtricity pretty much just kills everybody. 2 it kills everyone. I don't really have great options against it. Other than just if he's locked in, though, he cannot go Quag, or he can't use an electric move or else Quag comes in, and he can't use, because I'm going to bring Gourgeist as well, can't use Boom Burst because Gourgeist could get in. But yeah, that's kind of the idea around the team. I'll show you this is the matchup right here. Hopefully it doesn't get rid of the battle. Yeah, we got an empty room. Instant replay. Get a little preview. But this is what it looks like. I'll show you my team builder right here. But Choice Band Gourgeist, Heavy Duty Boots Colossal, just with the coverage that's needed. Xatu, I just want to set up screens and get out of there. I have Psyshock just so things can't set up on me. Recover Toxic, Encore, Earthquake. This is mainly to prevent against El Creamy because I got the Rindo Berry. El Creamy does get Energy Ball, but I can Toxic it or Encore it accordingly depending on what it's doing. Haxorus to hopefully win the game, and then Galvantula to guarantee me webs with Focus Sash, because I'm going to attempt to lead it and then get up my webs immediately. So let's check out the game. Let's just go right into it. He does lead. He brings a Shuckle, which really, 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 really surprises me. It actually makes me a little bit nervous because I know that Prizzley likes to use unorthodox sets or sets in which can just win on their own by basically setting up defense and then praying that the opponent won't crit you. He's done it quite a few times. He used to use the Gothitelle when he won the league, when he got that really nice crit on Ball, that really unfortunate crit for Ball in the playoffs to go to the championship, and then he beat Cooper with a Gothitelle setup set and just instantly won on turn 1. So I know he likes to bring some sets. And so I just want to go right into Zatu. I don't want to mess around with this thing. I'm going to Volt Switch. I find out off the Volt Switch that it's got a little bit of investment into special defense, but not a ton. Really don't learn a ton about it off of that thing, but he goes for Infestation. So he wants to trap me. And that's fine because I have Teleport. So I'm just going to set up my screens here. And then he goes for the Sweet Scent. And this is where I remember that I'm playing against Prizzley and that he's going to run this type of stuff. But it's fine. This is why I have Quag. And so basically he doesn't have Toxic set up, so I can still just kind of hang out here. And I do have my Magic Bounce. I wish I had Roost, because if he was Toxic, he didn't show his last move, but if he was Toxic, that could have really been a problem for me. I get Quag in. I decide to Encore him into Infestation because there's no way he can beat me because I recover. And then AD, I didn't mention, but my team's all named after the Lakers today. Hopefully they win tonight and win the finals. But AD hits a sweet Toxic on his hyped up evasion, which is huge for me. And so he's able to get those boosts. So I get my Quag in, I get the Toxic off, I have him Encored. We should be good. I'm going to try to add to it with some Earthquakes, which I never miss, which is really fortunate for me. But I'm just going to keep him Encored the entire time, make sure that he continues to be Toxic. I didn't even think about him running some type of recovery. I forgot that he could potentially have a rest on this thing. But I go back to Zatu, and I go back to Zatu, and pretty cool set for him to raise his evasion by Magic Bouncing off of me to boost his evasion up. Pretty sweet move. But regardless, I try to get my screens up again, and again, I just need to keep him. I'm just going to keep Earthquaking until I can Toxic, and then I'm going to Toxic, and now I'm not going to let him go. I'm going to Encore him to death. So I go for the Encore, try to lock him into Infestation. He brings out the Keldeo. Luckily, I still have Light Screen up. He goes for Taunt on KCP. Great role player, Gorgeist. And Gorgeist actually plays a pivotal role here. Gorgeist is switching into Keldeo, and then with Poltergeist, basically 2-hit KOs almost everything on his team. And so the idea is getting Gorgeist and then punch holes in his team, so then it makes it even harder makes it easier for Haxorus to eventually set up and win the game. But let's go back to our game. So Poltergeist is in, Poltergeist is now. He goes for Toxic, knowing that he's not going to do very much damage. I get 48% off. Poltergeist does not trigger his Rocky Helmet that we found out about Frisk. And so what's nice is it doesn't make contact because it uses their item. So we go for another Poltergeist. We hit that Shuckle for 42%. It heals up to 42, and right here I'm like, please kill the Shuckle. I don't want to deal with this thing. This thing's super annoying. But regardless, we're able to get the roll. And we're able to kill it. Now, before this move happened, okay, he's got his Alcremie out. He sends it out. I was a little bit confused. I mean, his best option might have been... I think the problem with Gorgeist is that it's faster than everything on his team except for Keldeo. And Keldeo is what this thing's built for. So I don't know if he must have ran Calyx and known that I had Choice Band, but Ghost just hits everything on his team anyways. So he brings up the Alcremie, and I was anticipating, a set that would be setting up his defenses so he could just win the game instantly. That's kind of what Prizzley's been doing ever since after the first season he played. He had a really cool Tapu Bulu team that year. That was pretty awesome. But ever since that season, he's been a setup guy. That's all he does. He just sets up. Took a page out of Bird's book. Bird usually sets up offensively, but Prizzly Bear sets up defensively, and then you just can't kill his Pokemon, so he wins. Or I did lose to a DD. What's that thing called? Necrozma last time we played. But regardless, we go for the Poltergeist. He is not defense boosted with Alcremie. If he's max defense, I should only done max at like 70, 73, something like that. Luckily, he doesn't have a ton of defense invested. He must have a little bit of special defense or offenses. And so I just decided, I knew I was going to do a chunk, and if he decided to attack me, that's fine. We get this into the range that we need it in order for Haxorus to win. Or Poltergeist does enough damage to where we can kill that thing. Luckily, we didn't miss any Poltergeist, as I believe it's only a 90% accurate move. But it doesn't matter that he goes to +2 defenses, because our choice band, we're going to kill him. We go ahead and sack the Gourgeist, as that is our Keldeo answer anyways. We're going to go for Galvantula, and right here, we just go for the webs. I thought about going for Volt Switch. I mean, in hindsight, Volt Switch would have been really nice, and also we knew, because Poltergeist wasn't a 2-hit KO, like, this thing is like max defense. It's like max HP, max defense, Keldeo, which is crazy. But I wanted to set up my webs just in case he had either Choice Scarf Toxicity or he had Choice Scarf Jirachi, especially Choice Scarf Jirachi, because then that way my Haxorus basically comes in and just kills everything as soon as we get it in, as long as things are a little bit weakened. So I don't want that Jirachi just iron-heading my entire team. So I go for the webs. Now I'm going to go for my Volt Switch. He goes Golurk, great move by his part to stop my Volt Switch. And now I'm going to switch actually here to go to Quagsire. I was hoping he wasn't banded, because then that was the only way Quag got 2-hit KO'd from 80. But luckily he goes for the sub. I know my Encore goes through sub, and I don't want him to set up his speed. That was something I was really worried about, because if he just set up his speed, we were actually kind of in trouble. Quag could, as long as he didn't have like a Life Orb or something, could sit there and recover on him. He could have been Grass Knot, I guess, if he went for a special move. But regardless, he tries to go for Focus Punch. We find something out new. I did not know this, but because Focus Punch doesn't happen and it always goes second, when I Encore him, he has to use the move that he used the turn before. So basically, by Encoring behind a sub, that's the only way to stop a Focus Punch, unless you had like a Bullet Seed or like something to break past that sub. But basically, the Quag's able to Encore him into Substitute. We're gonna trigger his Citrus Berry. We are just gonna send off a few more Earthquakes here, and we're putting this Keldeo pretty low. We go into Galvantula. We don't really need it anymore, and it's kind of our sack. This also threatens Keldeo, and I ran the calc, and there's no way it could kill me with Scald. So here, I think it's pretty obvious switch that he's going to go into Golurk, so I'm going to go for my Throat Chop. Throat Chop was mainly for Toxicity, just to find out if it was Scarfed or not, and that way prevent any of its powerful moves. But we go for Throat Chop. We're going to hit this Golurk, do decent amount of damage, but most importantly, put it in the range of Haxorus. We're not going to bring our Haxorus out, because I think that was my only time I could set up screens. And so we go for the Reflect right away, just to make sure that the Jirachi, hopefully can't do too much damage. And then we also get up our Light screen right in Jirachi's face. He goes for Cosmic Power, and I go, oh my gosh. All your sets are just setting up your defenses. It's honestly not super surprising. That's just kind of how Prizzley plays. And so I should have been expecting this type of stuff. And for the most part, I did. I just felt that Quag gave me a good enough answer with Unaware and Encore to kind of deal with almost any of the setup options that he had. And so I'm lucky to have a Mon that has that combination of abilities and such. I do have Rindo Berry on here in case he brings a water move, a grass move on his Jirachi, like Energy Ball. But I got screens up. I just go Quag here, and he goes for the Ancient Power. So 20% chance to boost all his stats. He doesn't get it the first time. I decided to just go for my Earthquake, or actually to Encore him, because I don't want him to use Energy Ball. Or if he is going to use Energy Ball, I want to lock it into Energy Ball, because then Haxorus can come in and wipe him out. So I want to lock him into something. I don't care what it is. But he's just going to go for the Ancient Power. It doesn't matter if he gets the boost or not. Because if he gets the boost, I'm unaware Quag. So what really matters is if he has a grass move or not, and he didn't reveal it. But we aren't able to heal. I probably should have recovered here, but I just went for the damage. For some reason, I thought I might knock him out. I know it only did 22 last time. I didn't really run the calc, so we probably could have had a better move there. We go for the recover here because we want to preserve this Mon for later, just in case it can survive a move from Golurk. We go to sack Zatu. He goes for taunt. We wind up taunting him. And now we go for the teleport. Because either he kills my Zatu and I get hacks in, or I teleport into hacks and now we just click buttons and win the game. With the webs up, we know the Keldeo isn't Choice Scarf anyways. And so we click buttons and everything dies. Luckily the Golurk is perfectly in range now for a Dragon Claw. I think the calc was like 48 to 53. It was really close if you use no HP. So luckily we're able to sweep up with King James. Hopefully he does the same thing tonight. King James drops like 50 on the heat and gets his 4th ring. So pretty excited. I was really hoping King James, aka Haxorus, could get like 5 or 6 kills this game, just because it had such a good matchup. But some clever brings on Shuckle and the Alcremie, especially that Shuckle Sweet Scent bring. That was really, really clever on his part. But no, that was pretty awesome. And then Alcremie, I just had a feeling. I mean, Cosmic Power here, Acid Armor here. He was trying to set up his evasion here. Like, all of his sets were... This was a cool... The Keldeo set, it was brought for Weavile, for sure. It was definitely brought for Weavile. I was experimenting with a Psycho Cut Weavile and potentially trying to bring a crit Weavile because I thought he would do stuff like this. Try to set up his defenses on a lot of his mons. So I thought if I brought a Razor Claw Weavile, that might help me out so I can just hit some crits. But unfortunately, it just didn't make sense. I just wouldn't do enough damage in most scenarios to warrant it. And this team just made a lot more sense. So, no, that was the battle. Pretty cool set. I like the Keldeo. The Golurk was pretty cool as well. Focus Punch would have done a ton of damage. But I think just spamming, even Banded would have been nice on Golurk. Just take the damage. Toxicity is a beast. Luckily, it never got set up, and I was able to get webs. But yeah, just trying to set up his defenses the entire time. Luckily, Unaware Quag just said, nope, not today. Sorry, man. So we're able to claim our first win ever career on Prizzley. So it feels good. And hopefully we can do the same next week because we play Ball, and we've never beaten Ball either. So hopefully we can pick it up a little bit, take Ball out, and get to 500. Believe it or not. So hopefully we can take care of business. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.